question. Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You running that with me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll sometimes be reading, and it's like you've read that story a million times, and then I never knew it said that. And then we'll start discussing that, so it's kind of cool that, the Word of God is powerful. It's alive. It's unlike any other books. Of course, new things come out.
Does he ever roll his eyes and say, I can't believe you didn't know that?
Never.
Never. Okay, good.
No, because at my age now, I forget. But I learn something new every day. I just got it last week.
I meet new people all the time. It's wonderful.
Right. It is. Was that about family devotion too, though?
Yeah.
Next
Oh,
question.
Yeah, actually, there was. The question was, is there a ratio that should be between my wife and
can I answer that?
Go ahead, sure.
I too, Davey, I started out years and years ago doing the 1 year Bible or the daily devotional thus and so, and I would either be traveling, sick, busy, and I'd miss a day. Then I'd miss 2 days. Usually this happens at about January 14th, 15th, or 16th, right into the new year. I got so defeated that I wound up giving up on my daily Bible reading, because I felt like such a loser. I would step into that trap of condemnation. Man, I'm some sort of a failure. That's why, for example, for us as a church, I encourage the people, start with the daily Bible reading. We'll all start together as a church. But if you miss a few days for whatever reasons, number one, dive into the very day that you're living in. Don't go back and catch up unless you have that time luxury. Because I know how the enemy works. You get so condemned and you'll never catch up. You'll say, well, I missed 4 days, I'm going to start reading. And then the phone rings, and the kids wake up, or Satan knocks on your door. Yeah. And it ruins everything. And then when it comes to the family thing, I really, really stress that you keep your family devotions as light. I don't mean Bible light. I mean as happy and as lively and as graphic as you possibly can. I would encourage you to read what you're going to be reading in advance to the kids. Get a little idea. God will give you an idea. It could be a walnut that's going to fit the idea, or it's going to be a branch, or it's going to be a blade of grass or an egg, and use it. And I personally believe a family devotion shouldn't be longer than 15 minutes. Make it colorful.
Depending on the age of the child. It might be shorter. It might be 2 minutes.
Well, I asked Lisa to keep her devotions for me to about 15 minutes.
But yeah, fun is important because you can just kill the kid with, but if you can't do that every single day, you should be with those kids, praying with them every night before they go to bed, tucking them in, praying with them, encouraging them, reminding them of God's faithfulness, how much He loves them. He's got a future and a plan and a hope for them. Every day, God's, even if they had a horrible day and they're crying about something that happened that day, encouraging them, that in the morning, God makes His mercies are new every morning. There's always something new. And when they wake up in the morning, remind them of that.
I have to tell you, I don't know if you didn't catch this because you wouldn't have been aware of this, but just a second ago, she was telling you verses. Lisa was just giving you verses, and she was doing it in a certain way just a second ago. Did you get that? Oh, you did. Good. Why? Because when we would tuck our girls into bed, we would go like this with the blankets and put them in and shift them into bed and fluff their pillow, and we're going just like this. Lord, watch over them and build the angels around them tonight, and the girls would just go, and they look like little burritos, so happy. And listen, look, you guys, our kids are 30 years old, and as soon as she started giving that cadence, I instantly saw Rebecca and Ashley in bed, tucking them in with Bible verses and that giggly, goofy little look on their face of contentment. And they're laughing, and it's silly, right? Yeah. And they love it, and they've never forgotten it. And here Lisa says it a second ago, and memories from so long ago pop back like that.
Here's a question, still in the subject of biblical role of husband and wife. Pastor Jack, some men don't step up as the spiritual leader because their wives are so dominant and possibly better at that role. My wife's better at some things than I am. Sure. The wife sometimes thinks that, what advice would you give a woman in that role to encourage her husband to take charge? Most of us would assume that the husband should be in charge of
so you're asking me to give the woman advice?
Not a good idea.
Okay. No, it's fine. Listen. You may be.
I know.
You may be very you may be very, very better equipped and well educated and more spiritual than he. I'm not going to contend with that. I personally see women on a ratio closer to God than men on a ratio. Seems to be more women are closer to God than the number of men. But having said that, this is what's going to be tough. God has declared that the husband is the head in that home. He's the one that's to lead. He's the one that is to sacrifice. He's to be the giver. He's to be the servant. He's to be the minister. He's to be like Jesus. Okay? Even though she or you may know more, whoever's asking this question, you may know more, but he needs to step up. I guarantee you this. Listen, you need to commit this to the Lord and begin to back off, to back down. Why? As long as you're strong, listen, he's intimidated. As long as you are the bulwark of the family, he won't step up. If you begin to tone it down, then it opens the door for him to fill. Now, how is that? You would now encourage him, develop him, strengthen him. Tell him, honey, what do you think about this? Bring him up. He may not even realize it. And usually it's a man also thinking, she's got that covered. She's doing great. She's got that covered. He will easily surrender that post. The problem is it's a God-ordained post for him. So in your humility, help lift him up, okay? And encourage him along the way. And by God's grace, you'll see him develop and then take the lead, and you'll be a very happy woman when that happens. That's what I suggest.
I like to say, too, for women that are strong and their husband is not, that they gently just hand the reins over. Just over and over and over.
That's
and
gotta be a tough thing to do.
Gently.
Yeah.
Because if the man doesn't, a lot of times a man hears spiritual leader and they have no idea what that means, or it like freaks him out because it's like, what does that mean? I have to get up and preach to my family, 30 minutes every day, and I don't know how to study. And so it's just a gentle thing. Like, the wife could say something like, wow, the kids would really love if you pray with them. I just know they would love that. So, women are natural nurturers with children. So sometimes husbands, not every man came out of this dynamic, Christian, awesome home and has this godly father as a role model that then he's going to duplicate in his own home. So I remember even with Jack, with girls, I remember telling him, just from my own experience growing up as a girl, obviously, telling him, you need to let the girls know, you need to be that example of what a date should be like a man, how he treats a woman, how to show respect, because men don't naturally think like that. They weren't, So, we have to kind of just help them. But I like the illustration of just gently handing the reins. He may let go, but then the next time, gently hand him back, I think it would be really good if you went and did this or tried that. Would you be willing to, things like that, to build him up, to affirm him that this is a good place for him to be, that the kids are going to be encouraged.
You can attest to that. I just forget.
Yeah.
I just forget.
Right.
It's not a conscious decision not to do something.
It's going to be, but listen, I want to encourage you. You're going to have to really take the high road by decreasing, which is going to be a tremendous spiritual commitment on your part, so that your husband can increase.
Yeah.
And you say, I don't even like the thought of that. Yeah, but you know what? You're honoring God by doing that.
Yeah.
Let's move into communication. How do you encourage a spouse to communicate when they don't want to? Whether it's problems, daily activities, or feelings. We've all seen it. Husband comes home. How was your day? Fine. Turn the TV on.
Yeah.
That's the end of it.
Yeah.
How would you encourage a spouse to communicate when they don't want to, or when they can?
Yeah, you want to take that one first?
Well, I can only say what I would say to a woman. I wouldn't know what to say to the man, but to the woman, it might be that, if he is that type, maybe he's just a man of little words, which a lot of men don't like to talk, and that's fine. Women love to talk. But maybe wait till dinner, maybe, I have some of these conversation starter things or games you can play that are just on little cards. If you honestly don't know what to talk about, you ask him how his day was, he says, fine. Now what? You want to tell him about the kids, he doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear about what happened with your day, whatever. Maybe at dinner, you just, hey, and it could be if you have children, they're there too, but just start something fun. Yeah, I'm not talking about a serious topic, because sometimes life is so difficult. It's hard. There's a lot of work. There's work in the home. You've been working all day. You come home. Maybe you both are working all day. You come home. There's dinner to make, there's dishes, there's baths for kids, there's homework, there's just stuff, trash to go out. You know what I'm saying? It's just all piles up, and it's just stressful. How about just having fun talks sometimes? Because as soon as you tell your husband, "Can we talk?" I mean, the guy just shuts up. It's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk," because they know a talk means probably something serious or deep. So turning on something funny, laughing, playing a game, taking a walk. I mean, just keeping something light sometimes I think can be helpful to even draw somebody out a little bit,
Yeah.
Now for the man, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Somebody said this, you guys have all heard this, that somehow it was figured out that men only have so many words per day.
Yeah.
Right. Somebody figured that out at the Man Factory somewhere.
Yeah.
And so, but for me, listen, I think of this, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm just saying this is reality. For me, when I come home, I have a commitment that's to me that my home needs to be something other than the office. Quite frankly, it has to be something other than this church sanctuary or the ministry outreach or the mission field. You understand what I'm saying? I have to come home to a safe place. And that doesn't mean I curl up in a ball and suck my thumb in the fetal position. I mean a place where I want to talk about something that will lighten my heart. So if Lisa were to say to me, now we don't have this issue in our home because we both work in spiritual settings. So she's not interested in if I was a rocket scientist, then she would say, what'd you do today? But we pretty much know what's gone on in our days. And so for me, when we come home, I want our home conversations to be what she just said. I want it to be light. I don't mean like a pretend. If we have to make a decision like we are right now about a roof or about this or that, we have to talk. That's life. But I don't want to get into, you know what? How do I handle a situation where Susie and her husband? No, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's where I live 10 hours a day. But when I get home, so with that, I would say to her, I don't want to talk about that. And she could interpret that as, he doesn't want to talk. No, I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is something that is other than. So maybe you want to think about in your home, create an environment. Don't ask him how his day went. If his day was really in such a way that he wants to talk about it, this is the way a man is wired. He'll say, you know what? My day stunk. That means he may or may not want to talk about it, but he's willing to throw it out there. And you need to kind of handle that. But he'll bring it up. So what do we do? I want to talk to him. Then you know what? Find a topic. Get a topic. And you should know each other by now. Even if you've been married for a week, you should know he or she really likes to talk about buildings or architecture, paint, stones, birds. It doesn't matter, right? You can connect somewhere, and it works that way.
Let's move into the subject of protecting your marriage. We started off the program by saying that marriage is under attack. Under any circumstance, here's a question from the audience. This is a good one. Is it okay for a man and a woman to communicate via text or email without their spouse's knowledge? With being the opposite sex, I would suppose is what they mean.
Let me think. No.
Yeah.
That didn't take long.
Exactly.
No, unless you're talking to a woman at the store and you're buying your wife a surprise anniversary gift or something, I guess.
Or business, something like that, if you had to email for business. But other than that, there shouldn't be any secret passwords. There shouldn't be any secret anything. Absolutely nothing secret from each other.
No way.
And especially if it's bothering your spouse.
Yeah.
If they're asking a question because it is, and maybe they're looking for an answer to say, no, it's okay to do. It's not okay to do.
No.
Especially if something bothers him, whether I think it's silly or not, it bothers him. Therefore, I shouldn't do it. Vice versa.
The data is overwhelming. The results are overwhelming. We are incapable as a culture to manage technology the way that it is. We don't have the maturity. We don't have the strength. I don't know what you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So what I would say is this. Have your phone, your iPad, your email, whatever. I don't believe, think, how could you have a secret with your spouse, from your spouse, but you're sleeping, you're having sex with each other? What is that? I don't get it. No, don't do it. Don't go there. Yeah, but you know what? This is an old friend from school. All the more reason why you don't go there.
Right, the worst.
Yeah, but you know what? She's one of the purchasing agents at work. Then listen, if you have to talk to her, then why don't you dictate it to your wife and let her type it? I mean, you guys, seriously, you've got to radically protect your marriage. This is the most dangerous age for marriage, I believe.